What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Print Factory show on a Wednesday. And we got the full crew here right after Christmas. ODB is back with us, joining us here. Yep. And we got Big T, as always, down here at the bottom. And I'll bring you guys in real quick before we get right into the football, because we got a lot of games on the main slate to talk about. But ODB, how was your Christmas, man? I hope you had a good one. And what'd you do? Anything fun?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, sorry I missed you all last week. Was Win had a huge series here, end of the year, kind of like a mini World Series. So was kind of stuck there. And yeah, Christmas, my kids are out of the house, and so it's just me and my wife now. And my daughter's coming in after New Year's, and yeah, that's it. So we're just chilling. Nothing too exciting.
All right. Well, yeah, it was nice. we needed our Chief dance, ODB. So we'll get it a little Chief dance for the people. I mean, just hit it a little bit. I mean, Tony, I don't know. Could you do the dance? Like, could you actually do that dance?
Not as well as you two, but I could be the third best of the three of us.
I don't know which who's which one.
I don't know.
Good question.
If you put me in the back, then you won't be able to see me. So put me in I'll be one of the front guys.
Oh, you're definitely front and center. Like, I could see you. Of the three of us, I could definitely see you doing that move.
I think Big T's in the back. He's bigger than both
Why?
of us.
Because they're just in tights, Tony. Is that why
I could
see
that? You. Like, you love all the aerobic shit and climbing ropes, and like that could be you. Like, there's no way ODB's doing that dance. There's definitely no damn way I'm doing that dance. And you, yeah, I think you'd be good at it. I think you might do that when you go into the room before the workbench at night. You might give her that move, the boom, 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 and hop right in there.
Like jump right in, just give her a little spinneroonie right in there.
That's That's my favorite gift for us. Three of us.
It's a great gift.
It's the best gift. We pick some losers, we pick some winners, but nothing is more fun than listening to Chiefs fans kind of squabble back. They start backpedaling now. They're all jumping off ship too, Tony. I don't know, but the non-actual Chief fans. It's like the people that became Patriots fans when Tom Brady was great for 20 years, and the people before that. Like, everyone jumps on teams. Well, I think a bunch of people that are Chiefs fans are jumping ship right now. Those are the fake Chiefs fans. I'm not talking about the real ones that have been there through everything. I'm talking about the people that just jumped on for the Mahomes and company run.
Oh, yeah.
And they're jumping off, Tony. I feel it. I can feel it.
Yeah, I mean, as well they should. The funniest part is, I mean, I've said this from the beginning of the year, but they're going to be back. All they got to do is add some receivers, and all these guys are jumping off the ship. The only reason us three don't like the Chiefs is because they don't have good players. I mean, with Mahomes and this core group, I mean, you don't need much. They literally need like 2 receivers in their back. So, like, now's not the time to get off. Just realize you're a little weak right now. You don't have any players. You can't win without players. I don't care who you are.
No, they're kicking themselves for Tyreek Hill, letting him go. Like Tyreek Hill not trying to get him back, and they're going to go out. They're going to draft. They're going to find some I guarantee you they're going to draft receivers in this draft. Like, no doubt in my mind. They're going to. They got to get rid of everybody.
This draft is loaded for receiver too.
That's the problem. They keep drafting receivers, and these guys keep failing. Like,
they keep drafting damn gadget guys. Like, take
but the problem is they never draft high enough. They need
Didn't they draft Tyreek Hill though, ODB?
No, but I'm just saying, like, I'm talking about like Sky Moore and all these other. I mean, Rice has been fine, but
Rice is still like a number 3 though. Like, everyone,
Tony hates Rice.
I like him. He's not as a number 1.
Like, you know what they need to do is they just need to go all in and sign T. Higgins. I mean, put T. Higgins with Mahomes.
T. Higgins would be a good fit there. He would.
They still need to. I no doubt they need to either sign a big name like a T. Higgins, go out and trade for somebody, or draft and hope that they hit a Tyreek Hill again.
Yeah, that's the truth. Like, you need to. I mean, look at the number ones. I mean, yeah, you can always get lucky with a Puka or something like that, but the reality is, like, the best receivers, they're always near the top of the draft, and they're going to pick at the bottom. So, I mean,
first, second round, I think you can find
Yeah,
receivers. You just got to
but
pick the right
you
ones.
get
I mean,
you get a lot of Jalen Rager and Sky Moores in that shit too. Like, I mean,
you get like the other side of it too, where you can get the AJ Browns and the DK Metcalfs and you can find those guys in the middle of that first round, back end of the 20s. You can find a receiver like that. You just gotta pick the right one. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that the Chiefs, it's more of an easy fix. I personally think this league has moved into a league where dynamic receivers are just, you need one. Like, you have to have one to win. The best teams, when they lose that receiver, look at the Bengals when Jamar Chase doesn't play,
exactly.
and even T. Higgins. Look at what happened to the Colts when Michael Pittman missed the game. I mean, shit, what happened to Gardner Minshew? That's what happens. You can see that teams need that number one, that alpha receiver. The best teams have them, and the teams that are lacking in that department, like the Chiefs, are not going to get there in the end. They're going to lose out to these other teams that all have stud receivers. I think if Marvin Harrison was in this draft, did he not go in the draft this year?
He's going to be in the draft.
If I'm a team,
I'm still not confident as ODB that he's going to be. Like, he's got big money offers.
If I'm a team picking one, I'm very much thinking about just drafting him. Well, I assume it's the Bears. I'm very much thinking about. You're not going to have to pick
him at one because he's not going till 3. So you can.
Oh, whatever. Then I'm picking him at 3. Like, I'm trading up to get him. Like, if I'm a team, I'm trading up to get him.
Happy to Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh.
The Patriots.
Don't put him on the Patriots. It's right now. It's Carolina 1 and
Arizona 2.
Arizona. There you go.
So who's the top 2 picks then? You think Carolina's going to take back-to-back quarterbacks? Number 1?
Well, no, Carolina doesn't have it. It's Chicago that has their first. Like, if I'm Chicago, I take Harrison. Like, I'm taking Marvin Harrison. I'm keeping Fields, or I'm drafting another quarterback with my Bears pick. I like Fields too.
Me too. But
they won't do it. They're gonna let go of them. But
if I'm the Patriots, was smart, they would go snatch up Fields if it's like a good team. Go snatch him up
for sure. He'd be great with the Falcons or the Seahawks.
He would be great for the Falcons.
Yeah.
God, he'd be good for the Falcons.
That's
a
what
good
they
call.
need.
I'd be a Falcons fan if he went there.
I mean, he went to
maybe
Georgia.
If they get rid of that coach.
Perfect.
Maybe if they get rid of that coach, Tony, I could be a fan.
That coach is an absolute imbecile. But
yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. This is the problem, though. Like, the Fields contract is going to be too much. Like, yeah, I mean I still
you got to pay people that are good. Shit. Like, it is what it is. I mean, if you got a quarterback, you got to pay him. That's like the Snyder where you keep saying the Chiefs are done because of the salary cap. Like, no,
I mean, that's what Run Pure does. They want talent. They just go out, they give them a good contract, and they bring in the good talent.
That's it.
Yeah, we're
good to the people.
For the golf, whoever didn't see it, we got Mr. Locke coming in, one of the best golf guys in the industry. He works for Golf Digest, putting an article on Golf Digest, all kinds of fun stuff. And golf starts back next week. Everyone that knows me knows I freaking love golf. It's been my best sport fantasy-wise, which helps. But I just love the sweat, Thursday to Sunday. Fun sweat, and I look forward to having him here because the more info we get, obviously the better. And all of it too. I think he was doing stuff for 2 or 3 other places. He's bringing it all to Run Pure. So the article, the shows, he goes to some of the events too. I know where he'll be on site. That's always an advantage, just to whatever, see the rough, see how the people are playing during practice rounds. All that stuff helps. Every little thing adds up in DFS, as us 3 know, as everyone knows. Any tiny little edge you can get is a big edge. So I'm super excited to have him involved with us.
So is he a part of the golf team or the golf team? Because I was a part of the golf team for a while, and now I might be off the golf team now. I think we got enough experienced people where JSU doesn't.
You're still in occasionally though. Every once in a while, we got to go back to our roots.
Every once in a while, we got to go back to drinking at 12 a.m. and me falling asleep at 3 a.m.
ODB, JSU got it done this week, too. I mean, there's no way you watched the, whatever it was, Saturday or Sunday show. He was drinking on the show, though. Finally got him drinking on the show. That was impressive.
Yeah, and I was getting made fun of.
Did you
ship?
You're
getting made fun of because you freaking got drunk after one drink.
I did not ship. I'm trying to think of that slate.
JSU and I would be a nice battle.
The lightweight battle.
I mean, I drink a lot, but for some reason, I mean, not a lot.
That's
but
good. You should
decent
be
amount.
happy
And
about that. I wish
that's what my wife says. My wife's like, I'm a cheap drunk. I'm a cheap
correct.
Good.
Yeah, like so I like you're probably the same way as me. Like I can keep drinking. It's just that it hits me quicker. So it probably hits you quicker too.
Yeah.
So you just feel it quicker. But I can drink. Like once I start drinking, I can drink.
I'm just like one drink in and I'm just like sloshed. And I'm just like my buddies they're just like bottles and bottles of wine and mixed drinks and all this stuff. And then finally they get there and I'm like, shit, I've been here for 2 hours. Where you been?
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't take me long to join the party. So I could go in like 4 hours to the party and everyone be drinking and I could get in about 30 minutes. I'm right with them. I just get a quick drink or two in me and I'll be good to go. So JSU drunk show is the best.
Everyone loves drunk JSU. I don't know what that says about sober JSU, but everyone loves drunk JSU.
All I know is before the show, I was looking, I'm like, what contests are this week? Is there anything I want to jump in? Because I don't really like get in there and just like battle these huge fields and stuff. If I play something, I want to play like a big money, couple one or two lineups and get in there and battle. And I saw a $5 million 22-22 this week. I'm
really?
Like,
in football?
Yeah, it's the big big main event that they run. They run it every year.
Wow.
I'm like, all right, that's what I'm doing this weekend. And then New Year's Eve, I got a party with my close friends. We hang out in the hot tub overlooking the strip, watching the fireworks, and I'm going to celebrate my $1 million. So let's find us some fucking winners, especially some low.
I came in second in that contest 3 years ago. 3 years ago, came in second.
Tony,
that bitch.
Tony, we're shipping this one, all right?
Man, I like that. So it's 5 million. It's not none of this 2.5 million nonsense. It's 5 million. An actual prize pool.
They're running tickets too, Tony. Tonight they've been running tickets this whole week. They're running tickets. So if you're playing like NBA or any other sports, I'm sure they got them for like hot. But I know for NBA, like if you're playing NBA tonight or this week,
and that's a good prize pool. You guys are right. Look at that.
Top 6, 100K.
That is that is a way better than normal structure. Usually, like last night in the NBA, I mean, that structure is terrible. We always play
terrible.
This is a good tournament.
Yeah, this is like one of the best ones that they run.
I don't know how it could be better, honestly. 5 million, about 20% to first. I mean, that's really good. Coming from the poker, we were talking about poker before this. That was kind of what I did before DFS. This is like a perfect structure. Freaking perfect.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you want to try and win a ticket, some people might not be able to buy in for that 2-2-2-2, but if you want to try and win a ticket, they got the qualifiers all this week. You can run them in NBA, and we got a NBA show later today. Hardwood show's at 4:45, and we got the Up the Lock show at 6. So if you're looking for the winners, come get the NBA winners over at Rumpier Sports. We'll hook you up. So, all right, let's get into this football slate. And Tony, I was asked, someone hit me up on Twitter, and they wanted me to ask you this question before we dove into the slate. So I said I would ask. The Ravens beat the 49ers. Everyone knows this. But so they wanted to ask you specifically if the Ravens still have no shot to win the Super Bowl.
Yes, I don't think they have a shot to win the Super Bowl.
And yes, I agree with that statement. Okay, good. I'm glad we got that on record for the people.
I mean, they look great. Congratulations. I mean, I even said last week and I did bet the 49ers. I'll admit it. I didn't like it, though. I'll still play them. If they play again in the playoffs, I'll be right back on the 49ers. So Ravens fans, I'll give
Big T credit because I actually talk to him every day. And he told me one of the days leading up to the game on the phone, I remember him saying this. He said, honestly, I don't love this spot as much for the 49ers against the Ravens because I do think they could hold some stuff back just in case.
We'll never see this either. And I'm not saying this is what happened, but sometimes a more vanilla game plan, which again, I'm not saying this isn't totally what happened. It was a bad game too. But that leads to interceptions and different things because you're calling more basic plays. And again, I'm not making excuses. I'll be right back on the Niners. It was just a weird spot. It was just the Baltimore needed it more. It was a bigger game. They played the underdog role. whatever. I hope they play
Man,
again.
I wish you would have talked to
will
me
be-
about that. I love the Niners. I played the Niners, and I was wrong. But I do think the Ravens can win the Super Bowl, only because I think the AFC is extremely weak.
That part is true.
So all you have to do is get there, and I mean,
Anything can happen in one game.
Yeah, I mean, it's one game, and they're talented. And the thing is, it's only the Niners. So if the Niners have an off game getting to the Super Bowl, I think the Ravens would be the best team there, because there's nobody else in the NFC that I think is comparable to the Ravens. I mean, maybe Dallas on their best day. But yeah, the AFC is just weak. I mean, so anyway, we'll dive into the games and see. But
Baltimore's going to lose to like a Indianapolis, not them, but some team like that.
No,
they're not losing to
you know who
Cleveland,
Baltimore's going to
Cleveland's
have to
gonna be
play? Baltimore's going to have to play like either Buffalo in the second round if they get that bye, which I assume they're going to get a
They're
bye.
going to lose the bye this week.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, they got Miami, which is
I hope
actually the
not.
first game on the
Baltimore
slate, but-
fans, slide in. I'll take Miami this week.
Yeah, I mean,
I've put a lot of money the last 2 weeks on Buffalo to win the division, and I need Baltimore.
We got Buffalo. We got some Buffalo.
The
bet that we made that's going to tilt me so hard is Seattle. We had such a good side.
They had it. It was so good. Yeah,
I've bet them the last 3 weeks is the only good thing, so I've kind of made money off them.
Yeah.
We got it in good, and we're going to lose that because they won a few games in a row.
Yeah.
By the way, Geno Smith, like no one's talking about this, but does anyone else think that Drew Lock should be starting instead of Geno Smith?
I think
Geno
sucks, but Drew Lock sucks too.
I think Drew Lock looked better than Geno Smith. I'm just going to throw that one out there.
That's because you saw the picture.
I saw the picture of his lady, and he definitely moved up a few ladder spots on Wiley's ladder, for sure, 100%. All right, let's go here. Miami, Baltimore is the first game I got, so let's talk about it here. 3-point spread, 47 total. Baltimore's favorite at home. They're at home, so right around what you would think here. 3-point favorites for the Ravens. Tony, you kind of gave your initial take saying slide in to all the Baltimore fans. ODB, what do you think here with the Dolphins and the Ravens?
I'm actually really surprised. This line was 4 yesterday. So I did some brief calculations to figure out what Buffalo really was to win the division, because there's a casino here that had him at plus 275 to win the East. And so I just stuck in the parlay calculator what Baltimore's money line was, Buffalo's money line was, and what I anticipated Buffalo would be at Miami, and came up to about 240. So I went ahead and booked that ticket, and now the line is just dropped from 4. It was 4 minus 200, and now it's like 3 shaded to 3.5, and like 170. I guess the early money's coming in on Miami, or maybe it started at this and some initial money came in Buffalo.
This is going to be a guaranteed reverse line move, guaranteed. The public will be on Baltimore, and the sharps are going to be on Miami, guaranteed.
Well, I think I like Baltimore in this spot, not because I'm a huge Baltimore fan. I just think Baltimore at home, I just don't think the way that Baltimore plays sets up well with the way that Miami plays. So I think Waddle is most likely not playing, and sorry, my wife is making some espresso.
I was wondering what was going on.
I'm sitting here, I'm talking, and she's like banging out the espresso.
I'll talk for a second while she's making the espresso, but
Go ahead. I'll mute it and let her make the espresso.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Miami too here, and honestly, I don't want Miami to actually win this. I want Tony. Nothing would be better actually for me than Baltimore winning this game, just because I know that everyone's gonna love Baltimore going into the playoffs, and I know I'm just gonna fade them. So I like in a way, on top of it, Buffalo to win the division. If you're rooting for that, we need this game. If you're rooting for Buffalo, right, Tony? They have to lose Miami, right?
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo for the division. Yeah, I mean,
division.
For Buffalo, I don't. know if it means that much. Oh, for ODB's bet, it means a lot. But for like their long term, I don't know if it matters
Buffalo
that much.
No, it
That's
matters
what
a
I
lot.
mean.
I mean,
The
Buffalo.
division.
If Miami wins this game, if Miami loses this game, Buffalo, all they have to do is go to Miami and win, which I think we would
What
all
does the
be on
division
Buffalo, and
matter?
they'd be the
matter.
number 2 seed. They'd be the number 2
Home
seed.
field, though, I don't think it even matters for Buffalo that much, though.
No, but because I have a bet on Buffalo to win the division.
Wait,
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you have a bet, then yeah, of course
Yeah.
it means something.
You don't think Buffalo would rather have?
Of course they would
numbers-
rather. I'm just saying, according to their odds, I don't think they'd be that much less likely to win the AFC with that part.
It's interesting, though, because, of course, they'd want to have it, but I think Buffalo could go into any one of these places.
They can,
Baltimore, Miami. I think they're the one team
the difference
that
is
I'm
between,
okay with.
Yeah, but that's just the difference between Buffalo going to Kansas City and Kansas City going to Buffalo. Like, it's just, I mean, it's just a completely different. Yeah,
Buffalo's
I mean,
gonna bitch slap Kansas City in Arrowhead.
Bitch slap them. I agree.
Anyway, I think Baltimore sets up nicely with Miami. Like, we've seen Miami be able to beat soft teams, but have trouble versus teams that are built strong, and going to Buffalo. I mean, Baltimore's a tough place to play. I don't know. And I would normally think this is a great letdown spot for Baltimore, but they can't let down. This is for the number 1 seed in the bye. They don't have the division locked up yet. If they lose this, they have to beat Pittsburgh. I think in Pittsburgh maybe, but they have to beat Pittsburgh in week 18. They do not want to. They have to beat Pittsburgh to get the number 2 seed, or they just beat this game. They can rest everybody versus Pittsburgh, have the number 1 seed in the bye, and everything goes through. I mean, this is the game. Like, this is Baltimore's Super Bowl. I think Baltimore is like a big favorite to go to the Super Bowl. They win this game, and they're just another team if they don't. I think this is huge for Baltimore, and I think Baltimore's the better team. I think they're tougher. I think they're more physical.
What is it for Miami, though?
Miami's weak.
What
Miami's
is you act like? I mean, it's just as big a game for them. They get the 1 seed if they win.
Of course,
they get the 1 seed.
No,
and lock up the division.
I guess my point is that normally you would like to fade Baltimore in this spot after that game. After a statement game on national TV, it's a perfect letdown spot. But I just think there's no letdown in this spot. I think you can eliminate what people use as this is a perfect spot to go against them after their national TV game, after they look great. Everybody's going to be on them, and they're going to have a letdown. This is just not a letdown. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the game's not important for both. I think this is just a playoff atmosphere, and I like the Baltimore crowd and a team that's just more physical. I don't know. I'm going to be on Baltimore this week, and I'm rarely on Baltimore. So,
yeah. All right. It seems like we're a little split here with that. That's okay. But
what about from a fantasy perspective? Is there any spots in this game we like?
Yeah, I mean, Tyreek.
Tyreek, one and only, baby.
Chain. I think Miami's a stone cold lock. I absolutely love Miami. I love that San Francisco and Miami are mirror images, same coaching style, same scheme. They just saw everything that happened in that game. This coach is going to know what to do to make adjustments. I think it's a stone cold lock. I'm going huge on Miami. I love Miami. I think they win convincingly and really bring Baltimore back down to earth. As far as fantasy, though, I mean, Zay Flowers is 5,600, likely 4,600. I like Achain at 6,700. I think he's due for another big game. Baltimore's been getting run on a little bit more than usual, too. Tyreek, though, I mean, I need Tyreek. Tyreek's going to destroy this team. All the chances they take with stuff, they try to be physical. I think Tyreek really gets after it. But, yeah. Me and ODB don't usually disagree on the big games. I love Miami, though.
All right. Well, there you go. You guys can disagree finally. That was a friendly disagreement, though.
Who do you have, JSU?
I got Miami. I think Miami wins this
He's got
game.
Miami. Miami owned his ass last week, baby.
I'm on an island.
2-point victories owning, but yeah, they did
They
own
all
me.
count the same. You got to
They
get
did.
those
Your
down.
your Cowboys are an embarrassment. That's all I gotta say. Absolute
Funny thing was,
embarrassment.
I thought a lot of people thought they looked terrible. I thought Dak was pretty good. There was just a couple of plays that just were weird plays that went the wrong. I thought Dallas was the better team, even though I had Miami.
I thought McCarthy lost his balls somewhere in that end of third, fourth quarter. Not going for it on that fourth down play down there, not the first time, and then he does it the second time, just drove me insane. Like, you get all the way down there, you need touchdowns to beat these high-powered offenses. You can't just keep settling for field goals. When these teams figure that out, maybe they'll actually win a close game, but you can't fucking settle for field goals against Miami's, against the best teams. Like, you just can't do it. Like, if you have a rock solid, like Baltimore type defense or San Francisco type defense, and you can lean on it. But man, you just can't do it when you're going up against a team like Miami, who you can't stop when the game's on the line. Like, I knew it right when Miami got the ball. I was like, they're not going to stop this team. They're going to score a field goal and they're going to win. They're going to drain the clock. And that's what happened. Like, that play to Tyreek, by the way, for them to get that first down, how do you even stop that play? It happened do you guys know the play I'm talking about at the very end of the game when he just threw that quick little pass and he just stutter stepped and left the guy in the dust? Like, how do you stop that play? The Chiefs used to run it all the time. It's unstoppable. You can't do that with those type of teams when you get into, like, you have to stop them or you're dead. You can't play with Miami like that. You got to kill them. And they didn't. That's why Dallas, they're losers, Tony. They're not going to win a Super Bowl. I'm saying it here now. Ravens, Cowboys.
You and Uncle T. Dak can never win a road game. He can't win. I got it noted. I got my notes taken from you guys. I got them down.
I bet him on the road. And you know what? I got owned. And I said to myself, don't bet Dak on the road. And I still bet him on the road.
I got my notes down.
I'm a loser, too, for betting him on the road. That's my fault. Yeah, keep your fucking notes.
I got notes.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Put in your notes. I got Baltimore this week.
It's in there. Believe me, it's in there. There's going to be a poker tournament next Wednesday.
You in the poker? You're really loving the poker game.
I'm not talking about me. You never realized my damn jokes. I'm saying because he's going to miss the show. You dummy.
Oh, what the hell? He's going to miss the show? Oh, I didn't know that. How am I supposed to know that?
If you guys don't get them.
I'm not missing the show. I'll be back Wednesday all excited for my Buffalo ticket.
Raiders Colts 3.5 point spread, 43.5 total. The Raiders, I don't know about you guys, but this to me is the Raiders all day. Like 3.5 point spread. The team is playing hard for that coach. It's showing. I don't like the Colts. I know they're at home, but man, give me the team that's fucking going all out for this coach right now, and that's the Raiders. And the other thing too, Zamir White, even though he doesn't have like the straight line speed of like some of these other guys, like the A-Chains and those elite running backs, he is better than Josh Jacobs. Like, it's clear to me he's better than him. They should have been running him this whole time. Josh Jacobs looked slow all year. Zamir White looks better than him. I'm throwing it out there right now. He does. All right, ODB, tell me to stop.
I mean, that's just.
I'm not going to stop. Fuck both of you. All right.
If Jacobs was healthy right now, he'd be running hard too. Nobody was running hard.
You guys remember Jacobs' start to the season? He looked like
because they all hated McDaniels.
Oh, so he came in fat because he hated McDaniels?
Yes. No, he hated the Raiders. The whole thing was just a nonsense. You can just throw out the first part of the year with the Raiders.
All right, I'll throw out the first part. All I'm going to say is from a numbers standpoint, he would have put up the exact same numbers, Josh Jacobs, in the whole year. Easily. Zamir White would have.
Come on. Zamir's fine. And running backs don't matter. He's just a fat slug who just fucking pushes up the line.
Makes my point. Zamir White,
I'm convinced more than ever that running. I always have believed it, but I believe it more than ever that running back doesn't matter. There's like one guy and he's CMC that matters. No one else matters.
No, this game really confuses me because I don't know. I mean, the Colts sometimes they just look really good, and sometimes they just look really bad. And it seems like when they're at home they look good, and when they're on the road they look bad. The Raiders, I mean, yeah, they're playing hard and they're playing good. I've had them the last 2 weeks. Had them versus the Chargers, had them versus the Chiefs, but I don't know. This line's just kind of suspicious. Like the Raiders looked really good. They went into Arrowhead and just beat the shit out of everybody's favorite quarterback, and now they get to play Gardner Minshew, and you just think like, that they're just going to dominate the line, which they dominated the line of scrimmage versus the Chiefs, which is tough to do. I mean, the Chiefs' offensive line's been decent this year. So yeah, but and now the line's 3.5. I mean, it's basically telling you that the Colts are a better team than the Raiders because home field advantage is only worth about 2. And anybody watching the Raiders and the Colts the last few weeks, I would think these teams are equal. I don't know. The line's a little suspicious to me. I think that everybody's going to be on the Raiders. I don't really have a take right now. I feel like I probably will get one, and it'll be pretty strong one way or the other. I just don't really know what it is right now. I think this could be some fantasy pieces, though, because, the Colts stadium kind of plays fast. The Colts defense isn't that good, and I don't know. It just seems like the Colts games in Indy seem to score. So I think you could find some stuff here.
Yeah, maybe your boy Josh Jacobs comes back and is active. Hey,
well, if he comes back, that just probably kills both of them because I'm sure that they're going to just give Zamir time, and also Jacobs is going to play some. So I don't think you can go in and play either of them in that spot.
Yeah, well, if he's out though, then you could definitely go back to Light again at that price tag. But Tony, what do you like here? Is it obvious the Raiders, or am I off here?
Yeah, I'm back on JSU's side with the Raiders. I do agree that it looks a little trappy with the number, but the Colts I just can't get out how bad they look at times. But it is right. ODB is right. Like a few weeks ago, they looked great against a team, Pittsburgh or whoever they played, and they looked terrible. So up and down. The Raiders, for whatever reason, they just destroyed the Chargers, go into Arrowhead and win. And I think Pierce is a little bit, it reminds me of Detroit last year in its own way, where same type of coach, not an X's and O coach at all, but he just rallies them. They just like him. Like ODB said, they hated McDaniels, and they're just playing hard for him. And they're not out of the playoffs. They're not likely to make it. But if they go 9-8, I mean, you just look at the standings. All they need, they beat Pittsburgh. They beat. The Bengals could easily be worse than that. In the other division, the Colts would be 8-8. I mean, it's not totally dead that they finish above 5 because they play another shitty team the week after.
Here's the thing with the Colts. They play the Texans the last week. So if the Colts win this week, the winner of that game is going to the playoffs. Regardless of whether it's wild card, and they can win the division. If Jacksonville loses one of the next 2 games, Jacksonville's
in big trouble.
Jacksonville's very shaky right now. So the Colts just have to win this game. So this is an all-out game for them. From a fantasy standpoint, though, I mean, Devontae Adams has just been awful for the last few weeks, but he's the kind of guy who has like eruption potential and inside. Maybe he's a low-owned guy who could go off. I mean, it is kind of. I mean, he's been really bad the last.
They don't even look at him. It feels.
Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously, but I mean, when are you going to get Devontae in an indoor spot where nobody's going to play him in an offensive environment? I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas because I'm looking for contrarian type plays that
he just came off a Chargers game where he went for 12 targets, 100 yards, and a score. Well, they have weird games where they just pepper him.
They scored 60 and they had the ball the whole game.
Well, yeah, but their defense scored how many times? Their defense the last 2 weeks, how many times have they scored? 4 touchdowns? That has to kill
their team's good.
That has to kill the offensive production, though, when you're scoring, but your defense is actually going into the end zone multiple times a game, right? That's got to kill it a little bit.
I think Devontae might be a low owned guy there. That especially on this 14 game slate, you're gonna have ownership's gonna be. I'm trying to pull up the thing right now and see what his price tag is, but
he's 7,400.
I mean, 7,400 for maybe the most talented receiver in the league or top 5. I mean, he has a terrible quarterback, though. So, I mean, obviously that's.
I'm going to play some Raiders defense, too. Minshew, who said it in chat? I want that cat. The Minshew loves to commit turnovers. Yeah. Give me the Raiders defense. Ball hawking right now. Owning Mahomes. I love it. I'll take some of that.
I'll make a
Chip.
prediction that my computer freezes up in the next 10 minutes and I have to shut down and come back in.
Well, you're gonna have to pull some of those tabs down, bro. You gotta stop looking at some of that stuff you're looking at in between games. You got to pull some of it down.
I'm trying to look at the price for fucking Devontae Adams.
You're still trying to pull it up right now? Oh boy. All right. All right. Let's move on. That game, simple enough, I guess. Next game here on the slate, Atlanta, Chicago. That's what I got anyways. Tony, so Atlanta, Bijan finally got fed. And I'm pretty sure he crushed, right? Like he had a big game.
He had a big game, and Algier broke that one at the end that would have really nuked for Bijan if he got that one.
So his numbers will say, like his fantasy points will say like he didn't crush, but he didn't score, and he got 19 fantasy points with 10 targets in the passing game on 7 receptions for 50 yards.
Where's everyone that made fun of the flow chart last week too? What'd they say? You got it. Who's I don't know defensive guys. That's one thing I don't know. Who's the run stopper for Indy? Glover or something?
Who?
I don't know.
You know the run stoppers. You're good at this.
Indy,
Everybody tweeted at me like, you got to adjust the rankings for Indy because they got the greatest run stopper in the world back. Glover's the name in my head.
DeForest?
No, not him. I don't. Whoever it was, people were. I got so many tweets, and then you get Algier for 9 for 69, 1 for 19, and then you got Bijan 12.
Oh, Grover Stewart. Grover Stewart.
Yeah, that had to be what it was.
Is that his name?
So you got like just a million stats from these running backs. I want a correction from the people that were calling me out about the flow chart. Like one little dude on defense isn't changing the entire structure of a defense. Like it's just not.
Well, I don't know. DJ Reader sure did.
Reader definitely. He can make a case for how bad Cincinnati looked, for sure. But yeah. I mean, do we have one just miracle up our sleeve in the 50K? These Bears, can they just erupt?
Is it an 18 week or 17 week?
17.
Week. Wish it wasn't. We need one
DJ Moore twisting an ankle on the first play.
We need an Amari Cooper type performance from somebody. That's what we need.
Amari, you get it like a 60 like him. That's what we need.
I mean, badly too. Because we're 100. How many points from second?
We need a really big week, or we just need them to have just a random
bad week. The problem is that's like a really bad week. We would need them to have like insanely
best
bad.
ball.
Who knows?
But, yeah, you never know. It can happen. I mean, shit. Like Chain got us 50 and 35 2 weeks in a row. So I think it's possible we could have a big week. Hopefully Mostert doesn't play. I know we didn't really talk about it, but he got injured in that game. I know he didn't practice today. I'm sure they're going to try and get him to play, but man, hopefully he doesn't play because we need something good like that to happen for us. We need a break in that way or something to get us over the top. But what do you like here with Atlanta, Chicago? Two teams. Honestly, Chicago's been playing some good football as well.
Yeah, I like Chicago. Again, though, I wish this game was in Atlanta on the turf. It's just another spot with a 30s total that in Chicago, it's always windy this time of year. It's just a bad setup, and Atlanta loves to run. I mean, honestly, Heineke was decent last week. He's 4,900 again. I just don't see it. Like, it's just a low total. I tried Roschon. I should have played stupid Herbert last week. I knew it benefited the running game more than the passing game. He got 20 carries. How many did Roschon get? 9. So, I mean, 20 carries to 9. It made sense to play Herbert.
Roschon didn't work. I played him too. And
Herbert was a good play. I missed that one. I'll admit it. I should have played Herbert. It was a running spot. Roschon's a pass catcher. I messed up. I definitely messed that spot up. But
I thought it was going his way, though, Tony. I thought it was just going his way. Like Roschon's
I kind of did too. Maybe I'm being results oriented, but just knowing the players. I mean, Roschon's clearly a pass catcher, and Herbert's clearly the runner. But I don't know. I don't see a ton in this game. I do like the Bears again, though. I think the Bears win this game, but because the Bears, they're not playing to lose, right? Because them winning doesn't affect that Carolina pick, right?
No, it doesn't matter.
So, yeah, I think they keep trying to win then. And Fields is
it'll
going to try
affect
to
their
prove
pick,
himself.
but they still
Doesn't
have
matter
their
at this
pick,
point.
but doesn't
I mean,
matter.
they've won a bunch of games. They're not. There's no
I
difference
mean, I think
between
Fields
pick
is
9
a
and
great
12.
play again. Fields is just good. I'm a Fields fan. I don't know how I turned into one, but I am a Fields fan.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked them. ODB, what do you think of Justin Fields and the Bears?
I like Fields. I played Fields and more this week, which ended up killing me. But I like the Bears. The Bears seem to be peaking. They're playing well on defense. They're playing well on offense. I think just the offense got a little out of flow when, DJ Moore went out early. But yeah, I think this Atlanta team's pretty fraudulent, and especially on the road. It's definitely a team that performs better at home than on the road. I think this is a good setup with a good pass rush by the Bears to put Heineke in some negative plays, because he's known to just throw interceptions. And yeah, I mean, I don't believe in Atlanta at all, and I do believe in the Bears. So it's a team that I like versus a team I don't like, and the spread's small. So yeah, I'm on the Bears. From a fantasy perspective, I don't know. I mean, I've started a lot of my weeks with more Fields, but with Moore's ankle, I'm not sure that I can do it this week, but maybe. I don't know. I mean, I like Fields for sure. I mean, Fields runs. There's a lot of design runs. Even in that game against the Cardinals, when they were up, he was still running the ball a lot. So, I mean, Fields has a nice safe floor. It's a 14-game slate. So we don't really have to worry about ownership as much, because it's going to be pretty spread out. So yeah, I like Fields and I like the Bears. I think this is a pretty good spot for them.
Yeah, hopefully Kmet can play. I know he didn't practice today. He left that game early last week with, I think, a knee issue. So hopefully he can get in the game this week, but we'll see on Cole Kmet. I agree with you guys, though, on the Bears. I like them. And for DFS, honestly, I'm probably lower on Atlanta and maybe even the Bears a little outside of like DJ Moore, because I don't really love the Atlanta spots for a lot of these teams. I hope Fields crush. I'll probably be lower on this spot for fantasy, but who knows as we get closer to the week. Let's go to the Niners and the Washington Commanders. And we got big news from Washington. They are sitting Sam Howell for Jacoby Brissett. So that is happening. Ron Rivera is definitely getting fired at the end of the season, confirmed. And he's saying to the organization, fuck you guys. I'm going to try and win this game with Jacoby Brissett and screw you guys. So, yeah, we're going to get Brissett, who, listen, I'll say it because I get shamed anyways for all the shit I say anyways. But when you just watch Jacoby Brissett and Sam Howell play quarterback, one looks like an NFL backup and one looks like a guy who should be a third-string quarterback. And the third-string quarterback, Sam Howell, and Jacoby Brissett actually looks like the backup. He just looks way better throwing the football. That's the truth. The guy can't move at all. I mean, he's got no mobility. Tony runs faster than him out of the pocket, like guaranteed. No, guaranteed. Jacoby Brissett is so slow. Have you seen this guy move, Tony?
I've seen him move for 15 years now.
Oh no, I mean like right now though. Have you seen him move? Like,
He's seen himself move.
I've seen myself move too is the problem, but I do not move well.
Sir, I watched you in that Chasing the Goat series. I watched you win a race. So
I'm undefeated in races. I'll let that be known.
Let's not go past it. See, nice Kevin said, I'm glad I said it because thank you. This
is another take where this is what JSU does though. He acts like he's giving some crazy take. Everyone agrees with that. He's not even giving a crazy take.
No. You're wrong. You're wrong, and you want to know why you're wrong? We did this show last week. ODB wasn't here. Otherwise, he could attest to this. I told you last week they should start Jacoby Brissett over Sam Howell. He's better, and you said no, they shouldn't.
Because it's a different argument.
No, they shouldn't.
The point. What did they get by starting Brissett? What are you talking about?
What did they get by starting Sam Howell? Terrible performances.
JSU, the reason they're starting Brissett this week is because San Francisco will literally kill Sam Howell. He will die on the field.
They're gonna kill Jacoby Brissett.
No, because Brissett's just gonna do fast shit. But it doesn't matter. This San Francisco,
they're gonna kill Jacoby Brissett.
This Washington defense is historically bad. Historically bad. The Jets scored 30 fucking points on them. 30 points. The Jets. Trevor Siemian. What do you what
they blew the lead again?
What do you think this Niners team, after they just got smoked on national TV, is going to do to this Washington defense? This is going to be a stone cold roll show. So
not to mention the Niners have to win again now.
Yeah.
Who's a better stud play, CMC or Tyreek Hill? If you can only have one.
I mean, it's got to be CMC.
CMC for sure.
Yeah.
I think whatever. He's the safer play.
How do you can not also just play CMC? Like
you hope Debo scores 3? Like, I don't know.
You can play all these Niners. They're going to score fucking 7 touchdowns.
The problem is they're really expensive. It's hard.
That's the problem. You can't play all of them. They're really expensive. Like $7,700 for Debo, $7K for Ayuk.
You can definitely play 2 of them though.
Yeah, 56 for Kittle.
They're going to smash.
That's not bad, but
they're going to smash. Yeah. And they're going to smash.
They get the easy points we always talk about. Like, they're a stone cold lock to score 30 plus. There's no other team that's – these are the games I want to get more advantage of, and I've talked about it, and I haven't really done it enough. Like, you should play 2 San Francisco pieces, and that's not even talking about a quarterback. Like, it's just they're going to score. You got to get a little lucky with who scores the touchdowns, but you know McCaffrey's getting 2. You know Debo's probably getting 1 or 2. So, yeah, I might just play those 2.
Play them, stack with Purdy.
Yeah, Purdy on the comeback too. What a better time to get Washington than after a bad game.
Yeah,
I mean, what is the spread in this game? Is it 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, it's 2 touchdowns, which is
there's no way they don't win by more than 2 touchdowns.
13. It's 13 right now.
Just lay it.
I don't see how they don't win by 30.
There's no home field advantage, and also Shanahan going back to Washington. Like, I don't think he has a lot of love for this.
Every single box. Like, how could anyone take Washington?
Yeah.
The only thing they got going at all is Jacoby's just going to get rid of the ball immediately, so they're not going to get any like sacks, but they're not going to score.
Jacoby's going to get killed, or either that or he's going to turn the ball. Like, he's going to get killed. This Niners defense is going for blood here. This is not a good spot.
It's a lot different. It's a lot different facing the Niners in a 0-0 game than it is facing the Rams down 28-7 in a prevent defense, or the Jets
100%.
Down 3 touchdowns in a prevent. I mean, this is a different situation. He's going to get destroyed.
I agree. He's definitely going to get destroyed. Like 100%. Sam Howell would get destroyed. They both are going to get destroyed by
the offensive line is atrocious. The defense is historically bad. What do you need?
I'm going to play San Francisco, so I don't need anything other than San Francisco.
Can we use this GIF when we knock Baltimore out of the playoff? Can we use our Chiefs GIF since we're the Ravens haters now too?
Hey, wait a second. ODB, bet your team. Show some respect to ODB. Bet your fucking team.
Yeah. I don't hate the Ravens. I just don't think I don't think they're as good as Ravens fans think they are, or that even the numbers, DVOA and stuff say they are. But I don't think the Ravens are trash. I think the Chiefs are pretty trashy. But
nothing worse than MVP talk, Ravens talk, Lamar Jackson, just absolute blowjob love. There's nothing worse than any of those things. Like, to me,
Mitch Snyder leads the entire army of Baltimore.
He has
right when they get knocked out in the first or second game, they'll be like, "It was our coach's fault. We didn't have enough playmakers. It was the play calling cost." Like, it's the same shit every year.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do in the AFC?
When the coach calls a great game and the defense is rolling and they beat San Francisco, who everyone thinks is the best team in the league, right? They don't say it. They say Lamar was the greatest. Yeah. So the coach had nothing to do with it then, but then they're going to go back on that guaranteed when they lose and say it was the coach's fault.
Always.
But Lamar was the greatest when they beat San Francisco. No, he wasn't. He scored 200. He threw for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's fine. I'm not saying that's not bad, but stop telling me he like absolutely, smoked them or cooked them. Like the whole team played great. The Ravens had a good game plan. Their defense was good. The coaches had a good game plan. The coaches helped you win that game. So remember that when you guys decide to turn on them, when you lose in round 1 or 2 of the playoffs, if you have to play in round 1 and you don't get that bye, either way, and you lose, remember that. We try to tell you, and then you guys end up just going back
Buffalo
on
goes in there. That's what I want.
What
Buffalo.
are we
I want
do?
it so bad.
What are we going to do when the Ravens play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship?
We're going to not do a show that week.
We're going to be in trouble.
I'm going to be on the Ravens for the record if those are the two teams. I'm going to have my Ravens gear on because the Chiefs are the team I don't believe in more than anyone.
Yeah, I mean, this is true, too. We're not even Ravens haters. They're forcing us to be Ravens haters.
I'm not a fool like Chiefs, because I think Lamar is fine. Like, I just think the Chiefs have no players. Like, I think the Ravens are. I just don't think they can win 3 in a row or 4 in a row in the playoffs. But yeah,
I love though we get all these records for Lamar. He's 20-2 against the NFC. That's great. What's his postseason record? He won 1 game in the postseason. He's lost 3. Go figure it out.
Yeah.
It's the same as Dak. Him and Dak can hang out together after the first round of the playoffs.
Let's stay on track.
I'm sorry, I can't. I just had to throw in a dig about Dak. I can't help myself.
It's a 14-game slate, boys. We're on game 3.
No, that's JSU's fault again.
You always blame shit on me. I didn't do anything. I just gave you a dig about Dak, and you got nothing to say back to it because you can't say anything.
That's because I already took the note. The note's been written.
He's like Dion. He keeps receipts.
I got the receipts for these Dak haters.
You don't think, ODB, when I make fun of him about something and I'm wrong, he don't call me up right fucking away to let me know.
I believe it.
He's fucking right in my ear every single
time. You do
time.
the same shit.
Oh, yeah, of course I do. Yeah. That's my favorite part.
Get us to the next damn game. I'm with ODB.
Rams, Giants.
We'll be here till kickoff.
All right, will you stop? Rams, Giants, 4.5-point spread. Giants are the dog in New York. 44 is the total in this one here. Rams, 4.5. I assume the Rams would be a popular pick here, but ODB, what do you think?
Well, I mean, the Giants made the switch at quarterback to Tyrod, so I think that's the reason why the number went down, because it was 6 yesterday. So if it's 4.5 now, that means that the news on Tyrod starting is moved the number. I don't know. I mean, the Rams are playing great, so it's hard to go against them. The Giants are terrible. But yeah, I mean, it's not easy to go to the East, but the Rams just did it a couple weeks ago with Baltimore. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to lean towards the Rams. I don't really know from a fantasy perspective. I mean, the Rams, you can always play. The good thing about the Rams is they're kind of like the big 3 are kind of pretty reliable. So I assume Kyron is going to be, I mean, he's just a stud, and the Giants, I don't think are very good versus the run. So Kyron's going to be a stud, but I mean, fuck, we got the whole slate of studs this week and everybody's playing. So, I mean, you're going to have to make some tough choices, but I mean, you can't go wrong with Kyron. Yeah, I like the Rams. They need the win, and 4.5 is not a big number. I'm going to lean towards the Rams.
Yeah, I got the Rams too. Tony, what do you got here with the Giants and the Rams?
Yeah, I mean, the Rams are one of the teams we've all kind of agreed on that. I mean, they're playing good football. They're 8-7. They need to keep winning to lock up this playoff spot. They play the Giants, who I do think, just like Washington, I mean, playing Tyrod is better than playing Danny Cutlips or whatever that people are calling him, just because he's a veteran. I mean, he's going to give you a better chance to win, but he's also not going to help you for the future at all. So I don't understand these bad teams playing veterans. It doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is. And Tyrod, I think, is in play just because he's 4,600. I mean, again, you're getting close to that 4K tag where you just don't need much. I mean, at quarterback, I want like 3X. So if he gets you 15, I mean, you're in pretty good shape at 4,600 as long as someone doesn't get like 40. And this week, You guys have already talked about the studs like McCaffrey, Tyreek, Kyron Williams. I mean, the list goes on because everyone's on the slate. So it could easily be another week where I punt quarterback. And I know a lot of people don't like it because it is more risky than playing a Josh Allen or these good guys. But when they get you like last week, Mullins got he was terrible and he got 23 or something. When you get that kind of production from that price tag, you're in such good shape. And I don't know, this week I could see playing Tyrod because of that. And there's cheap receivers. Like I know last week it might have been the shorter slate, but Slayton 3,400. When he houses one deep and you got one cheap receiver with your cheap quarterback, you can play so much. But I'm definitely on the Rams with you guys. The Rams just look good. The Rams are a team no one wants to see in the playoffs either because they have a veteran quarterback, a good running back, a good coach, good receivers, decent defense. I mean, they're a team no one wants to face. Even like the Niners and these teams don't really want to see the Rams in the playoffs. They're a good team. So I'm with you guys on the Rams. Like ODB said, I like these Rams guys. Kyron, I love him. You can't play everyone, though. You got McCaffrey. You got all these other guys. You got to decide. Puka just continues to look good. So fantasy, we got to wait longer. I mean, it's a huge slate. More takes with the games. I like the Rams.
Yeah, it seems like we're all on the Rams. Look at this guy. Tony, he has to come on every show we do and just throw a flex in. Every time.
All he does.
He's already got 3 tickets to the best tournament of the year. All right, Phallic. Guy's going to have fucking 20 tickets by the time Sunday is.
That tournament is freaking good, though. I need to try to get a bunch of tickets this week, too.
Big T, get on the ticket. Get on the tickets, bro.
Right. We're getting in tickets tonight. I mean,
there's 176.
Amazing.
There's that 176 qualifier for NBA. They're about to fill, but there's a few of those.
I mean, that 2-2-2 is that's a good tournament. They should run that every week.
Oh, they should run it instead of like that 4-4-4 that they were running, Tony. That shitty 4-4-4. Run this.
Better 2-2-2-2. So much better. Because 4K, I mean, we gamble a lot, us three, as much as almost anyone, and even to pony up over 4K for that structure is just tough to swallow. I mean, you can get depleted in a hurry playing that thing.
Yeah, and too, like at least if you're playing like a few lineups and it's a better payout structure, you got a better chance of like hitting something big. But that
tournament's awesome. Well, we gotta get some tickets in that for sure.
All right, Patriots, Bills, Patriots. 40.5 total here, and the Bills are at home favored by 12 in this spot. So Patriots still playing hard, whooped on the Broncos. Russell Wilson, it's time to hang up those boots. JSU needs to walk. I'm like that dude like walking away from the sunset with his head down, like just walking into a cloud of dust. Like that's me. Like the sunset's over here, and I just got my head down, and I'm just walking slowly away. Like we need to burn the Denver Broncos from my memory from this year, because you know what? They had so many chances to somehow sneak into the playoffs and actually give the Chiefs a run for the division, and they just shit down their leg in every single spot. You can't
lose to the Patriots in that spot.
They have multiple losses like that though, Tony, where they should have won the game and they lost. And it's just mind-blowing. And then they beat the Bills. And then they have the random shit. I'm a believer
in them, similar to how I think about the Chiefs in their own way, where I just think their roster blows. Like, you look at their players, Judy is horrendous. They're just now we're getting
if you put these skill position players on Kansas City, they'd win the Super Bowl. That's how bad Kansas City's are. You put Cortland Sutton, Judy, and Mims on Kansas City, they'd be that's how bad Kansas City is. Because I don't believe in Denver either.
Kelsey?
But I'm just saying, like,
yeah, can they keep Kelsey? Kelsey's been he's been really bad. But all right, now you're gonna get me in trouble.
They don't have anyone else though.
Now you're going to get me in trouble
about the Broncos.
I know. I corrected myself and I said I was distracted. I clarified that I took the blame.
I mean, to clarify though, we are talking about the Patriots who just beat the Broncos. So I mean, it's not
I
going
was
way
so
off track.
tilted in that game too. It was Christmas Eve. We were at our party. I got the Broncos plus 400, like in the fourth. They come all the way back, they tie it, and they get the ball. And then they were like minus 600. So I went from plus 400 to minus 600. I'm like, should I bet the other way? Just lock it up. I'm like, no, I'm not a pussy. And then they still lose. I was so freaking tilted.
I love how
about
Tony talks exactly how I talk when I'm in those situations.
Oh.
I literally do that every single time. I'm like, should I
Same.
bet the other side? No, I'm not
Why
a
would you
fucking
not? If
pussy.
you
I'm
have
just
plus 400 and you can get plus 400, why the hell wouldn't you just lock it up? I'm an idiot.
I say this every time after I lose in those spots too. I'm like, I'm an
I was
idiot.
so pissed. How do you lose to New England?
Oh, it's bad. It's
I'll
really
finish
bad.
this game easy though, because Buffalo's not losing to New England. They're playing to get us in. They're rolling. We love our Buffalo team. They're gonna win the AFC for us. As far as fantasy though, I mean, Diggs looks terrible right now. Josh Allen looks great, but you can't afford Josh Allen this week. You can't play Josh Allen versus New England. You can't. You're going to have to give up a McCaffrey or something to get him, and I'm not doing that. I'm going cheap at quarterback one way or another. There's no one in this game that I think Buffalo just wins easy, and I don't unless there's a cheap guy one of you guys see. Is Dawson Knox? No, he's even 3K, so I don't see anything in this game I like, but I do like Buffalo to roll.
Tony, can I interest you in a $4,400 3 goal line touch,
No.
5
No.
touches a game, Leonard Fournette?
Nope.
Okay. I tried. Kevin, I tried my best. ODB, what do you got in this one?
Yeah, Buffalo's going to win the game, but New England's defense is playing good, and Buffalo, they don't look like they really want to blow teams out. They're just kind of like just winning right now. I mean, so I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with Diggs. I mean, Diggs cost me big last week in my season long, but yeah, I don't really like any players, and I don't even really love this game from a spread standpoint. It's a lot of points. If I'm going to lay 12 or whatever, I mean, I'd much rather just take the Niners versus Washington than Buffalo versus Patriots. I think the Niners win by more than Buffalo does. So I'd just rather go that route. I don't really like the Patriots either because, you know, if they get behind, they're just not built to come back. And in Buffalo, it can get out of control for Bailey Zappi pretty quick. So I don't really like it. I'm just gonna I'll just probably sit this game out in every way whatsoever. You know, James Cook could potentially do something, but the reality is, like we talked about, there's so many really good players available. I'm not risking Fournette or Murray taking the goal lines or Josh Allen taking them or whatever. So I think there are just a lot of better options on the slate. So I'll just probably stay away from this game in general.
Yeah, one bright spot for New England, Zeke Elliott has been bad running the football, but man, 8, 6, and 11 targets his last 3 games receiving. And in the 2 games where he caught the 2 touchdowns, obviously 21 and 27 fantasy points. So he is getting it done with those short receptions. If you're just looking for somebody from this game, I think it would honestly be him. Trailing script, right, Tony? It like sets up perfectly for him to just get dump offs and stuff like that. They're going to be down. So, yeah, I don't like Zeke Elliott, but the game feels like it would set up perfectly for him.
I've never been a Zeke fan, but like always, I'll be honest, like he's looked good. He's looked good for New England. He has. His numbers look good, and just watch an eyeball test. He looks good eyeball test. He really does. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not a Zeke fan, but 6K, he's projected for 18 fantasy points. He's definitely in play.
All right.
He's wide receiver 1.
He's definitely wide receiver 1 for sure. And there goes ODB. He said it, Tony, that it would happen to him like 10 minutes ago that it would have happened, but like he was still close. I'll give him credit. Like he went away. I don't know about you, but I heard a bunch of like loud clicking, click.
I think there was some more food making or something in the kitchen going on.
I don't know if the wife pulled the plug on him too, just like said, "You're done with this."
Like I got to run this blender real quick. Just shut it down for a minute.
All right, let's go to the next game here. Tennessee and Houston. Houston's 4.5-point favorites at home. 43 is the total in this game here. And we've got, I don't know, is it confirmation about CJ Stroud? I know
I heard he was going to practice, so I'm assuming it was only concussion, right? So he's got to be back.
Correct. He missed 2 weeks, I think, with concussion.
He got to be back. I heard he was practicing today. I didn't see if he actually did, but I heard he was going to.
And I think Will Levis the same. I think he's trying to practice today too. So I'm going to go about this game like both of them are playing. Sound good to you? Both these guys in.
Definitely.
Oh, here's ODB. He's back too. All right. Perfect timing, ODB. We got the Houston and Tennessee. Tony, I'll start with you, though, in this game here. What do you see with these two teams?
Yeah, I mean, Stroud coming back will definitely help, obviously, because they just need him in there. He was the reason they were doing so good early in the year. Problem is, Tennessee's just a tough team to, like, navigate through because they run so much. I just don't love it. And you look at these prices. I mean, Nico Collins is $7,200. Even Noah Brown's over $5K. It's just tough this week. Everybody plays. We have all the studs, most of them in good spots too. So when it's weeks like this, I tend to always go stars and scrubs just because of how many good stars there are. And Houston's more of a mid-tier team where you're just going to have to get in there on these guys. I do think Houston wins, though, with Stroud back, which, again, it didn't work out last week. Great. But he still had 12 points last week, 9 for 40, 5 for 27 in the passing game. And that was in a game that they were in almost the entire game. So Tyjae Spears, 4,700. I love him. I need a cheat play this week, maybe at running back for my RB2. If Houston wins this game, and like ODB said in Indy, Houston's field is really good. They've had some great fantasy games at home this year. Tennessee could quit at any minute too and just not play Henry as much. I think Spears is a great play this week. Houston sucks against tight end too, and they bumped Chig's price to 3,600, but I think he's a good play too from Tennessee. So even though I don't love Tennessee, I think those two are very good cheap plays in this spot. And Houston, you can play these guys: Stroud, Nico, Noah Brown. Dalton Schultz. You can play these guys, but the price tags are a little too high to me. But I like Houston to win the game too.
I think Noah Brown has been worth it to pay 5,100 this year, honestly. Especially, I mean, seriously, like last game against Tennessee they played was what? The week before, and he went 8 for 82 and a touchdown, scored 22 fantasy points. So, and that was with Case Keenum. Yeah, that was with Case Keenum. So, with CJ Stroud, I definitely think he's in play at 5,100. I don't think you need to go to Nico because I think there's better studs, but he might like fit as one of your like last piece receivers. And I could definitely get on board with him. So, yeah, like Noah Brown. He had 2 big games with CJ Stroud too earlier this year too. So Tampa Bay and Cincinnati went off. So keep that in mind. ODB, what do you like here? Houston, Tennessee.
Yeah, when guys come back from concussion, it's not like they're coming back from a shoulder or a knee. I mean, they're 100%. So, Stroud was really good and put up a lot of points. So, I could definitely see Houston being the side here. The defense just played against this Tennessee team and they kind of held them in check. So, I think the Texans are probably the right side. I definitely like the Noah Brown. I definitely like Noah Brown more than Nico just because of the price. And since when Tank's been out, Noah's been pretty good. So, I like Stroud and Brown. I could see them being relatively affordable. Especially, I usually like to go against Tennessee's in the pass game versus the run game. But Singletary has had a lot of work. He's the feature back, and he's somehow become good this year. So, I don't know. I lean Houston, and I'm definitely fine with Brown or Stroud's kind of a mid-range if you don't want to completely punt quarterback, but you at the same time you don't want to go all the way up to like Fields a little higher and Allen and Hurts and those type of guys. So
Yeah, I agree. Simple game. I feel like, not that many plays from this game, but like one or two that you can pick out from each side to get on board with. So, all right, let's go to the next game here. We've got Arizona and Philadelphia. Another big spread here, 11-point spread. Philly's favorite at home, 48.5 for the total in this game here. And I'll just say this. For a Philadelphia team that has been really, really struggling, ever since we kind of pointed it out too, by the way, Tony, isn't it funny how things work? But ever since that point, they have really, like, Jalen Hurts has looked rough. The team is definitely going back a little. The defense is a little better under Patricia, maybe, but it's still not great. This spot here is like the complete get right spot because you got one of the better O-lines when it comes to running the football and, a team that wants to run the football in Philly against a team in Arizona who cannot stop the run. It does feel like to me like this is a spot where Philly gets right. But, I mean, listen, the Giants backdoored. Arizona could end up doing the same thing. ODB, what do you got here?
From a perspective, I'm not really sure, but first thing when I went to so I do this weekly league and I like to just put in a lineup immediately just to lock it up and make sure, I don't forget or get shut out or anything like that. So I just go in. The first thing I did was I put in Kyler and McBride. I don't know. Kyler just came down sick though, but this Philadelphia defense is really, really bad. I mean, even the Giants are able to throw on them. Everybody's able to throw on them. The secondary is just terrible. So, they could easily get behind too. So Kyler McBride, McBride had a stinker last week. So maybe the luster of him, and plus this week it's going to be tough to fit in expensive guys. So he's kind of in a spot where people might want to pay down a tight end, which probably rightfully so. But anyway, I'm not stuck to that or anything. But just my initial read was that Kyler and McBride could have a nice game. But Kyler, I think, is sick or has the flu or something, so I don't know. That might hurt him. And Philly's going to put up a shit ton of points too. So I like this game from a points perspective. James Conner caught a lot of little dump offs last week too when I was watching that game because I had a lot invested in that game from fantasy perspective and money and everything. So really felt like Kyler was just dumping Connor as the pass rush for the Bears got there. Also, he had no Marquise Brown and McBride couldn't. They just didn't have enough time to get down the field, and the rest of the secondary receivers aren't that good on the Cardinals. So Connor's in play. Like, he's not sexy. Nobody really likes to play him. So anyway,
yeah,
I don't really,
definitely.
I don't really
He's been running
take.
pure in the touchdown department too, I think, recently.
Yeah, I don't have a strong take on the spread though. It wouldn't surprise me if the Cardinals just never quit and got back into it. But also, this should be a total get right spot for the Eagles offense.
I like the idea though of it, like, even if you like to, like, in DFS, the idea of like stacking up Kyler with Trey McBride and I don't know, Michael Wilson or Greg Dortch, like if Marquise Brown's out, like I like that idea. I could get behind that, a cheap stack to go, and I could run it back with a Philadelphia guy like a Swift or a Savonta Smith or AJ Brown. Like I could definitely sell myself on stacking this game here. So I like that idea. Tony, what do you like here in this game?
Yeah, you have some clear-cut spots where, like you guys said, you both narrowed it down, but Arizona is by far the worst in the league against the running back. Philly likes to run. DeAndre Swift, he can't fall at the one every week 3 times. The dude falls at the one every week 3 times, and they do this stupid-ass tush push right after it. One of these weeks, he's just going to score 3 times, and he's going to break the slate. I think it's this week. I freaking love DeAndre Swift. And quietly, we gave A.J. Brown all his flowers early in the year where he was going to take the leap up and be the top 3 receiver. he's been more of Stephon Diggs lately than he has been Justin Jefferson and these top guys. He's whined a lot. He's been shaking his head. His demeanor, his body language sucks. I don't know. He's been whining a little bit, so I don't like the passing game. For me, Philly's clear cut. DeAndre Swift. I love him this week. Just like JSU said, they love the run. They get the lead. They want to win they still have a chance at the 1 seed if San Fran goes down. I think Swift gets 3 touchdowns. I think this is finally the week that he gets it. And then Arizona is clear cut too, where Philly cannot stop the passing games. They can't. So my favorite plays are Wilson and Dortch, the 2 receivers. You beat Philly through the receiver. I like McBride too, always. I just don't know if I can afford McBride this week at 5,900, but I love, if you can afford him, absolutely play McBride all the time. And so I did this last week in some of my Millie teams, but if you love McBride, don't be scared to play Elijah Higgins at 2,700 at tight end. He got some more looks last week. It's a punt for sure, but he's half price of McBride, less than half price of McBride. And he's getting, let's look at his snap counts real quick. He was out there a bunch and he looks good to me. So he played only like 30% the last 3 games he played, but still he's a punt and they just can't stop the receiver. But you could easily run a Kyler Murray, Wilson, Dortch, or two pass catchers, run it back with Swift, and that gives you a decent amount of salary savings. Kyler is $2K cheaper than Hurts. Philly doesn't do that great with running quarterbacks either. It kind of is a Kyler spot. So I didn't think I was going to like that, but after you both, ODB talking about it, everything you guys said makes sense to me. So I think it's a great starting point. And look at the prices. Dortch could get 12 to 15 targets at that price. Wilson could get 2 touchdowns at that price. Philly can't stop anybody. So I think you guys are all over it, and I love that. But Swift's my favorite. I could play Swift on like any team. Arizona, I don't want to like go crazy with them because they're still Arizona on the road in Philly. But I do love the idea. Like if you're playing one team, I love the idea of that.
Yeah, I agree. DeAndre Swift, great play. Hopefully, he had 2 times in that game where he got either stopped at the 1, or how about the play where he broke the tackle or cut and his knee just tapped the ground and he somehow
that one was even
scored.
Worse because I've tilted to Amber and takes all the bludgeoning of my tilt, but I was tilting all year about Swift because we got him on the 50K. Me and Josh got him in our high stakes league. I got him in everything, and he always freaking falls at the 1. And this time I was and I hear Amber say, Swift finally got in for you, and I saw his knee hit the ground. I'm like, oh, it's just pure tilt because, man.
I saw his knee hit the ground too, and I was laughing so hard.
She even said, then she felt bad. I was like, you don't have to feel bad. Just make sure. In the NFL, unless you watch them walk in, you always got to wait till they kick the extra point because so many of them get overturned.
This is how much of a soldier, though, Amber is. Listen to this. Tony's in the house saying, just make sure you get that confirmed before you tell me it's a touchdown, woman. That's how much. If my wife saw someone run in the end zone and she told me about it, I'd be like, oh, thank you very much. Like, that's great. You knew who Swift was. You said he scored a touchdown. You weren't right, but he did technically get in the box. Right, he did technically get in the box. So I give her credit. You just bash your wife when she doesn't get it.
Higher expectations. She needs to make sure that it's a touchdown before she freaking roots it in.
That's impressive. That's running your shop right there. I respect it.
It is funny too. She's always loving. That's why we've got along good because she loves sports. That doesn't get on me about the gambling stuff, even when it goes bad. But it's funny when we go hang out with other couples and stuff. They'll always be like, so what do you watch when he watches sports? And then she's always like, well, I kind of like it too a little bit. I might not like it as much as him, but I don't mind watching it. They always look at her like, what do you mean you like watching football?
My wife is half that. My wife doesn't love to watch sports, but she doesn't bother me about the gambling or the sports. So you got to take the good, right, Tony? You got to take the good.
I think we all 3 did pretty good in the ladies department.
for sure.
They're pretty good. All
I
right,
watched freaking ODB's lady would just come and just root him on the whole poker tournaments and stuff too. She's a saint to deal with his
that's
ass.
a trooper right there.
I'm sure he was tilted at times too, so she's a saint.
My wife is the stone cold nuts. She watches the football, doesn't say anything about my gambling, nothing. She's the best. The only thing is she loves Lamar. So even I had the Niners, she was still rooting for Lamar.
Right. She's allowed her own takes.
Yeah.
This week I'm going to get on Lamar for her, so we can root
now
together.
You guys can root together. That's true.
We're rooting for Lamar together this week.
There you go. That's true love right there, ODB.
Yeah.
All right. Tampa Bay in New Orleans, 2.5 point spread, 42.5 total. Tampa Bay favored at home to the New Orleans Saints here. Tony, throw it to you. Tampa Bay looked pretty solid. I mean, last few weeks, New Orleans, I don't know. What do you got here?
Definitely a quick game for me, but New Orleans always plays Tampa good. More in the Brady. They owned Brady when he was there, but I still kind of like New Orleans in this spot. I don't love the game. I mean, these prices are tough. Even Rashad getting all the work, he's priced up. I don't love this game. I'll be honest. I mean, there's a million games. I think this game plays pretty low scoring. I mean, just looking at the prices, none of them really stick out. And again, this is 14 games this week. You got to pick and choose more than you usually do. I mean, we've had 9-game slates lately. This is basically double that almost. It's just there's a lot of games, a lot of plays. I don't need to play a New Orleans Tampa Bay game with all these good plays on there. But as far as the betting, I kind of like New Orleans in this spot.
And one guy that sticks out to me is Rashid Shaheed at 4,600. Like, that's kind of cheap for the upside that
you can definitely throw on
though.
Tampa too. I hate freaking Derek Carr.
I know.
If they had any other quarterback, I would play New Orleans guys because I like Olave a lot too. I love these, but man, Derek Carr sucks.
I know. It's just the price tag. It's the price tag and the upside is just glaring at me at 4,600. So, ODB, what do you got here? Is this a quick game for you?
Yeah, I mean, the Bucks handled the Saints really well at home earlier in the year. The Bucks are playing really good football. I mean, they're playing as well as anybody else in the NFC right now, but they don't get any respect in the market whatsoever. The Saints kind of stink. It's crazy that like this game is just preconceived notions. This line is, and yet I'm having a tough time getting there as well. So it's kind of weird because if you just looked at these two teams and the resume of these two teams over the last, 8 weeks or something, like not even just a short sample size, but over the last 8 weeks, I mean, the Bucks are so much better than the Saints. The Saints are not good. The Saints played they beat Carolina and they beat the Giants at home and they beat them pretty good, but neither one of those games even looked as dominant as the score. So I don't know. I really have a tough time. I want to find some dogs that I like, and I kind of want to like this Saints team, but like they're just not good. And the Bucks are playing really good. I mean, I know Jacksonville's got its issues, but I mean they just absolutely manhandled the Jags. So yeah, I don't really love this game. You can always play Mike Evans, like that guy's just. But I think, I don't know if Lattimore's playing or not. But I think Lattimore kind of owns Evans, if I remember correctly. But I don't know if Lattimore's playing.
He definitely owns him if he's in. Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, probably not much here. I mean, Rachaad White gets so much work. You can always play him, but like we've talked about, he's expensive, and there's a lot of good guys. So, I'll probably be contrarian. So if you want to play the guy like that, I mean, you can always throw in a guy who gets all the work and is contrarian. So.
These teams are kind of mirror images of each other in their own way. Like a couple good receivers, couple are like Rashad and Kamara are similar. The quarterbacks, I think, kind of both suck a little bit. I mean, Baker's been pretty good this year, but I still think he sucks. They're kind of
The problem is Baker and Carr are similar, except for the way that they're playing. Baker's playing great, and Carr's playing like a fucking turd. But yeah, they are similar. Like, I mean, if you're like on the open market next year and Carr and Baker are right there, like. They're probably going similar contracts, similar money. yeah, I mean, it's very similar, but Baker's playing great and Carr's playing terrible. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. On the road, like getting Carr on the road is not really something that I really like. The more I think about it, the more I want to like the Saints, but the more the Bucks just seem like they're just the better play.
If you line up Carr and Baker's like stats next to each other, like the fantasy points, they're almost identical outside of the Green Bay week where Baker went for 33. So he had the 1 week where he really crushed.
That's crazy because even like Derek Carr last week, I'm pretty sure it was a showdown game, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, he was a winner in fantasy. Like
and it was all, to be fair,
it was all garbage.
It was all in the last like 3 minutes, but still,
again though, it's like Nick Mullins scored you. What was it, 23 or something like that? But like, it was a garbage 23. Like he
and the Bucks pass defense is been. I'm sure it's going to come up on the flow chart that the Bucks pass defense is
as bad as it gets.
I mean, I think you really can take a receiver from this game, like from the Saints. I really do. I think.
Well, it's Olave. I mean, Olave gets all the targets.
I mean, he has been.
We had a chance to ship the showdown last week. We just needed Olave, and he just couldn't get that one touchdown.
He crushed though too. To be fair,
he did really good because
Olave is probably a great play too. I mean, Olave is a great play. Like the guy gets so many targets and he can convert them. And Tampa Bay is not good against the pass, so yeah. I mean, I like Olave a lot.
You guys like all this stuff. The spread is weird, like ODB said, like the 3, and it's a low total for as many like guys look good in this game.
See, I only see 2 guys I like, so I'm not. But I get what you're saying. It's probably not as good of a game.
New Orleans matchups better than that's probably why the spread is the way it is. Like the flow chart is way more towards New Orleans than Tampa as far as matchups.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Carolina, Jacksonville next game here. 6.5 point spread. Jacksonville favored at home.
Richie Smalls.
I mean, this is
we
like
go through the
biggest...
Super Bowl, don't we?
We're not even close to done.
This is like the biggest like main slate though of the year, isn't it? Because like
next
week
week's
8
got to be bigger.
No, I think week 17 is like their biggest. That's why they run that 2-2-2 this week.
Well, that's because week 18 is going to have a lot of shitty people in. But
that's why,
Slate, there's going to be more games next week because everyone almost plays. There's no Monday game.
Yeah. I expect the contest. This is like the best contest week I think of.
Definitely as far as that, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. He said of 2023, Tony. Of 2023.
Oh, there we go. So that looks like is that Tony's new dog? Did you get a pit bull, Tony?
I can't get one now that Aaron Gordon got bit by a dog.
Oh my God. Yes, you can. You'll be fine. All right. Jacksonville, Carolina. This game should be pretty quick in a way. I'm actually going to take the points with Carolina. I just don't like the way Jacksonville's looking. I know Carolina's been bad too, but
how many weeks could they play our boy Lawrence with like 12 injuries? He just keeps going out there dead.
He's an absolute warrior, man. He just goes out
I'll give him credit for that. He is out there playing dead.
He's Iron Man, dude. He's literally built like it's crazy.
The guy breaks literally.
Make him sit down. Like, dude,
he broke his leg off in the Cincy game and comes back the next week. Gets concussed. Comes back the next week. Like, it doesn't matter.
The way he was contorted, too, with his leg getting caught behind him, like, most guys would legit be done. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Tony, any plays in this game? I mean, maybe a Calvin Ridley, like maybe a pass catcher from Jacksonville.
There's 14 games. This is definitely a pass for me. As far as right now, maybe by Sunday something pops up, but I don't even need to waste time with this game. I don't even like it from Bet's perspective because you don't know what you're getting from Jacksonville. It's Carolina. This is a pass for me.
Fair enough. It's a 38 total. ODB, you see anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think Carolina is going to be pretty popular just in betting because nobody believes in this Jacksonville team anymore, and like they really haven't given you any reason to. I need Jacksonville to win, man. I got Jacksonville over future. I got Jacksonville to win the division. I'm just
praying. What's their win total? What's their
9.5? They got to win the last 2 games now that they've lost like 4 in a row or whatever, or 3 in a row. But they have Carolina and Tennessee the last 2 weeks. So
you know who's going to jam 3 touchdowns down our ass this week is probably
Ridley?
ETN. ETN's probably going to do it. That guy always scores like double touch. He's going to get 2 touchdowns this week. I feel it. This is a good
Maybe.
matchup.
He was rolling early in the year. He finally came back to reality a little
Nobody's
bit.
going to play.
Finally.
Yeah,
it's a great
I don't
matchup.
know. I mean, I think the Panthers, like, it's just a kind of a lazy take to take the Panthers, because that's just like everybody saw the Panthers play okay versus the Packers, but they were dead in that game till the end, and then they just somehow scored a couple times. And Jacksonville has looked dead for a month. But I don't know. I mean, I hate the Panthers, and I hate the way Jacksonville's playing. So I'll probably just be off this game, root for Jacksonville just to win.
Bryce Young look when you watch Carolina, like he looks so small.
Yeah, he's bad. I mean, yeah, the
Most
defense,
guys don't look that small to me, and Bryce Young looks small when I see it. And most guys don't. Like, he looks small. You can just tell.
I don't even think
what do they list him at? What is he like listed at, Tony? Is he listed at 6 feet? Is he shorter than 6 feet?
He's got to be less, though.
He's got to be less. I don't care what they list. That's like when AI was listed at 6 feet.
Either of those are weird. Like, usually when it's short people, they're like strong. He looks like skinny and short.
Well, he is skinny. You can tell by his frame. He's not like I've been in weight rooms with like football players that play like Division I, Division II. I've seen like short dudes. Usually the short dudes are like the jacked dudes walking around. Yeah, like just absolute freakish. They're over there lifting with the friggin' linebackers, like defensive ends. No, Bryce Young is not doing that. He is definitely small and he's very skinny. But all right, let's go to the 4:00 games. We've got 3 of them here. We'll start with the Steelers and the Seahawks. It's a big game for Tony, right? And ODB. We got the Seahawks to miss the playoffs, and right now are they the last team in right now? I think by the standings, technically, they're like a wild card spot, right?
Yeah.
So this is a big game here. Seattle 3.5-point favorites at home, 41.5 total to Pittsburgh. ODB, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't believe in this Pittsburgh team at all. That Mason Rudolph, he got off, and Pickens had that play. The game just got away from him. Browning didn't play very well at all. I just think the game just kind of went away from him. I'm going to choose to believe this Pittsburgh team is more that they've shown the last month than they showed that one game. Seattle's playing pretty decent right now. And 3.5 seems like a low number to me. I have no interest in this Pittsburgh team whatsoever. I like Seattle here. From a fantasy perspective, I don't know. I mean, Walker has looked really good to me, but again, he's just going to fall in that mid-range price where I probably would rather go lower. Oh, we didn't even mention in the Carolina game, I like Chuba. Chuba's been really active. He gets all the work, and he's still pretty cheap. Like, I mean, he's only like 1,000 more than like Tajay Spears, which like I know and I like and I understand like Tony's like for him, but I mean, this guy's getting all the work and he's 1,000 more, and he's like 2,000, 3,000 less than a lot of the other guys who are workhorse guys. So Jacksonville's not very good. So I like Chuba in this matchup. But Seattle, I like Seattle in every way. So I don't know. It might be a lower scoring game, so I don't know if there's any fantasy pieces. I'm definitely not going back to Pickens. I would not play Pickens.
Yeah, I don't think this is a game where you're going to be like stacking up pieces or anything like that. I think you could pull a piece. I mean, to me, Smith and Jigba is still kind of cheap, but he got 7 targets last game. He friggin' ran into. Did you guys see in the beginning of the game when he got pushed out of the end zone on that pass and his knee hit the concrete wall? Like, they have the wall that's padded, and at the bottom of the padding, there's like that little piece of concrete, and he slid right into it. Did you guys see that?
JSU, how long do you think Big T's going to talk on mute? It's been like about 7 different things he said and we haven't heard.
I'm he on mute talking?
What's the over?
I didn't notice that. Big T, you want to hit that button?
I'm just watching him. I'm trying to figure out what he's saying. I'm just guessing. But it's a good game to play. What does Big T? What's Big T saying?
Pull your water out.
That is a tough thing because the LDB's right. I'm not. You guys are both drinking water too. Like, oh my God. But I got to admit it. I got to take the L. I've been talking for like 5 minutes on mute. So ODB was right. And I
That's
don't
a
even
rough
remember what I was
scene.
saying now. So, yeah, it is what it is. It's a tough scene.
Who you like in this game?
Now I don't remember what I've made all these comments. I don't even know what you guys heard and what you didn't. But
Nothing.
We haven't heard anything. You haven't said anything for literally like 3 minutes.
I've been talking a lot or a decent amount too. So I can't believe it. That's embarrassing. But I like Seattle. Pittsburgh sucks. Pittsburgh sucks ass. They were terrible last week and they won because just the way the game went, broken plays. And I mean, but Seattle, as annoying as it's even though we got the big Seattle bet to miss the playoffs, and I'm annoyed by it, I've bet Seattle every week for 4 weeks now. I can't help it. So I like Seattle again. I think they're like a lock too. Like I think it's a very good bet. One of my favorites of the week. They're going to win. And one position I'm done with is Pittsburgh running back. Warren and Najee, they were good for a few games in the middle. I'm so tired of these two guys. I'm never playing them again the rest of the – I mean, there's only 2 weeks left for them, but they're so bad. Like, I hate Pittsburgh. I'm done with Pittsburgh. I love Seattle. Fantasy, though, it's a fade for me fantasy-wise. I don't like anything in this game.
Definitely on this type of slate, no need to choose between two. Find a spot where you don't have to choose. You just know this is the running back.
Like Chuba, for example, like ODB was saying. That was one of the things I was saying when I was on freaking mute, but Chuba is a great player.
Yeah, there you go. From a touch standpoint, dude's been getting peppered. So, all right, we're all on Seattle. Let's go to Cincinnati and Kansas City here. 7-point spread in KC. KC's favored at home. 44 is the total in this game here. Cincinnati, without Jamar Chase, did not look good. He's not practicing today, but he was working out, they said, the rehab. Tony, you think he doesn't play the rest of the year, though, right? So I assume that still stands, and you think he's out for this game.
I mean, it looks a little more likely than I thought coming into last week. He's another guy that's an alien when he wants to go. I mean, he could go. I think if he really thought this team could like win the Super Bowl if they win type thing, I think he could play. I just think he's more of a realist where it's like, even if we somehow beat Kansas City, what are we really going to do when the playoffs get here? I mean, we're not winning the Super Bowl with what we got going on. So I don't know. Like, this game's really hard for me. I'll be honest. We hate Kansas City. I've been honest with my evaluation of Cincinnati. I liked the other way again last week. I just don't like Cincinnati as much as other people do with their current construction. I mean, so many people around me living in Cincy, obviously, were like stunned that they struggled last week. I'm like, they're missing their best run stopper. They're missing their quarterback, and they're missing their all-world receiver. Are they not going to drop off? What do we think, people? Like, be a realist. Like, what? Sure, I'd love them to play good like they did the other weeks. You're missing 3 very important pieces, not even to mention other stuff that's going on too. So, like, just have realistic. I hate Kansas City, but Kansas City needs to win. I have a hard time not seeing Kansas City win here, but they do stink. If Chase somehow plays, I probably will like Cincinnati if Chase somehow played, but if he doesn't play, I'm off again. And it's a tough spot for me though, seriously.
If Chase plays for me, then I'd like the over in this game. I'd like
you got
both
Balls
sides.
of Steel playing any over
because I think Kansas City can score on Cincinnati. I think that's how bad Cincinnati is right now with all these guys out. Cam Taylor-Britt's out.
Can Kelsey finally have a good game against the worst team against tight end?
I don't know if I
can be at the top of the flow chart for sure.
I don't know if I can play 7K Travis Kelce, but this is the spot. Like, he's looked so bad. Like, and they're trying to get him the football.
It's him. I think it's literally they have no one else, so the defenses are just finally taking him away.
Tony, I'm watching like them do like quick passes where he's just dropping easy catches, like it's hitting him right in the hands. I've never seen that before where he's
got
done
that
it
golden cooch. He's in there. He's got that. He's thinking about other things. We got the three good ladies. He's got the golden sombrero in there. Like
he's got the golden ticket is what she is. Because my God, like that girl is beyond. That's Travis Kelce times like 100, famous wise and money wise.
If you got the most popular chick in the world right now, you're gonna be. I don't care what anyone says. You're gonna be thinking about her a little bit.
World. She could sell out anywhere. Literally anywhere. You could put her anywhere in the world.
Anywhere, not in the country, anywhere in the world.
The world. Yeah, that's how crazy. Like you could put Travis Kelce somewhere in the world and people would be like, "Oh, that's a tall, big dude." Like
they wouldn't know who he is.
They wouldn't know who he is. But Taylor Swift, they know who it is. But yeah, I do. I just think Cincinnati's that bad. You let Mitchell Trubisky in Pittsburgh do that to you.
That was Mason Rudolph.
I'm sorry, Mason Rudolph. You're right. My bad. Mason Rudolph. Then Pat Mahomes can, even with these bad receivers, I think put up some points. So, I don't like this game. I hope Chase plays because I want Cincinnati to have a chance. And if he does play, I'll probably bet them. If he doesn't play though, then I can't bet them. So
are we sure that Patrick Mahomes is as good as Mason Rudolph? I mean, that pick six that he threw to the Raiders was pretty bad.
Tough scene for Patrick. He's getting compared to Mason Rudolph right now on the show. Normally,
Pittsburgh has better weapons.
Can I just say something real quick? That's normally my job. And ODB said it, and he didn't get made fun of at all by you. And I'm disappointed in you.
Well, because
you're not even on mute. You're not even on mute.
For what?
He just compared Mason Rudolph to Patrick Mahomes.
He was joking.
No.
If he was serious, I would have made fun of him.
Damn it, Tony, you're supposed to take it as serious and make fun of him.
Well,
I mean, definitely made fun of him if he was serious, though.
Pittsburgh has terrible skill position players, and they're definitely better than Kansas City's.
Pittsburgh does not have. I mean, Pickens and Deontay would crush in Kansas City.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. He said they're better. He said that.
They're better than Kansas City's, and they're still not very good.
Worse than Kansas City besides New England.
Patriots.
They're like league average.
Carolina.
That's it. You named the two.
Named the two.
So I want to love Cincinnati in this spot because I just don't trust Kansas City's defense. And Cincinnati's played well in the games that haven't involved Pittsburgh since Browning has been there. But I think maybe Pittsburgh has something on. But the only cause for concern is Spags. I mean, Spags can get pressure, and we saw Browning against pressure. But I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just crazy. I've been drinking the Browning Kool-Aid, and I think that I don't know. I think the Bengals can hang with them. I think a touchdown's too much. I'm playing the Bengals here. I definitely want Chase back, but if Chase comes back, I definitely like the Bengals. But I just don't trust the Chiefs to blow out anybody. I mean, they're just not good enough on offense. And I know that the Bengals defense is not that great, but it doesn't matter. Like, this team is not built to score points on offense. Really can't. Cincinnati's, I don't know. I think that game just got away from them on Saturday. I just don't trust Kansas City. I think this is more of a lower scoring game, and I think Browning has been very good at completing passes and moving the ball down the field. So I am worried about Spags and the blitz, but other than that, I think Cincinnati can hang with them.
All right. Tony, did you give
the one factor too is the D coordinator. I always forget his name, Lou Aruma or whatever the hell his name is.
Big Lou.
He owns Kansas City, so the one thing I don't like the over. It's hard for these teams to score. I think, but if Chase is in, it definitely helps.
All right, there we go. Last game on the slate. Man, I'll tell you right now, this is just a tremendous hosting to be on the last game on the slate and not be at the 2-hour mark. I just want to hat tip myself for a great show and a great job hosting because no one will hat tip me, so I will hat tip myself. Thank you. Denver and the Chargers. This is my way of saying I'm not going to talk about this game because Denver has killed me all year. They're losers. I'm a loser for liking them. I'm not going to ever bet them in this spot ever. I can't do it, but they are starting a new quarterback. They're going with Stidham. No more Russell Wilson. Thank God. I did think it was funny, though, Tony, when we got that last touchdown and Russ is on the sideline, he's like pumped up. He's fist bumping everyone. And you just felt it. You felt like he was going to get it done for everybody. You're like, he's coming back. He's doing it. They're going to pull it off. Because, of course, I, like you, bet them in that spot, too. And then to lose like that was really like, that was the nail in my coffin. Like, just stick it in me. I'm done. But I'll let you guys talk about this game because I'll take the Chargers and be done. What do you got, ODB, Tony?
I like the Broncos. I don't really think this team like Russ at all. I think they get energized for Stidham. I think a contrarian cheap play, we're going to need some. We're going to need some random weird dude to go off. Marvin Mims starting to get a few more targets, and he's got big playability, and he's super cheap. So in a tournament format, I think Mims can do something. This Charger team just stinks. Yeah, they showed a little spirited effort versus the Bills, but I just don't see it with Easton Stick. So yeah, that's my take. I like the Broncos. When I was going through and doing my just initial lineup, the Broncos D was the best one I could afford on the low side. Because I'd like to try to keep defense somewhat cheap if possible. So yeah, I think that Easton Stick is capable of making touchdown-worthy turnovers. The offensive line's not very good. The secondary is bad for the Chargers, and Gabe Davis went off. Marvin Mims has a pretty good profile, similar to Gabe Davis. So yeah, I think Mims is going to be my cheap 3,000 plus receiver that has a chance to do something at sub 5%. That's my call right now.
Yeah, and by the way, too, it does look like Cortland Sutton, who's in the concussion protocol, if he were to stay in it through the week and not be able to pass, like that's a huge loss for Denver. So just keep that in mind because he is in the concussion protocol right now, and we don't have word, I think, of what's going to happen with that. But he could miss because a lot of times when you pick up a concussion, that game, it's tough to make.
I mean that would drive ownership up a little bit, but it also would give him more opportunities. So it kind of goes both ways, I guess.
Yeah, and that what was it? The Brandon Johnson kid, I think he went out, like fills his role. So just another kid. He's 3,300, just another receiver. But it seems like you could get a few cheap receivers from Denver. Tony, this could be a team that you could maybe pull a cheap guy from if you're needing a cheap guy. I mean, two teams actually. I mean, Joshua Palmer's still cheap. He's 4,900. You got all the Denver guys. Quentin Johnson's 3,700. Could you pull a cheap play from these teams?
So I was going to hold this till Sunday, but I mean, I love our Print Factory Wednesday viewers. My favorite stack of the week, right when they made this news with the way roster construction is Stidham to Marvin Mims. So I love hearing ODB say that because Stidham's 4,800 against a team that O'Connell just went for 35 against or whatever he went for. Stidham is not that bad. I mean, he's bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't want that to come across wrong. Like
he played good for the Raiders.
He's good enough to beat a team that's already quit, the Chargers. 4,800 and 3,500 for Mims, who got a bunch of targets. It literally fits perfect this week with all the studs. I freaking love it. And like JSU said, you can definitely, like in Millie's, filter in other guys too. Filter in Little Jordan and Brandon Johnson and Dulcich might even play, which Dulcich at 3K I would love in this spot. I love Stidham. This is Wednesday. A lot can change before Sunday. I can almost guarantee he's going to be my top quarterback of the week. He's 4,800.
I'd just be careful of Greg Dulcich. He's been injured every time he steps on the field. I guarantee you he's limited in some way. Just saying. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
agree with you, but just be careful.
Also,
The
Sean Payton's offense doesn't lend to tight end. I mean,
Yeah.
like they don't even ever look at anybody. They love Troutman. He supposedly loved Troutman, and he never gets a look.
So another deep pull, and I was going to save this for Sunday, but another deep pull with this quarterback change. You don't know what other things they could be changing, and don't be shocked if this Jaleel McLaughlin kid plays more than Javonte Williams the last game or two of the season. He's looked good in spots.
What?
Yeah,
JSU is
sick.
burying his
You
Javonte
need to-
I'm
Williams.
telling you right now that this is Denver should, if Cortland Sutton's out, they should not play Javonte as much the next 2 weeks because their season's over. They know their season's over. That's why they're going away from Russ. Their season's done. So it makes sense for them, and I don't think anyone's going to do this, but I would not be stunned if he played more the next 2 weeks than Javonte. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, it'd be the perfect time. I would sit Javonte, honestly.
They easily could. I mean, man, Stidham's. The more I look at the flow chart, the more I look at the pricing. I mean, he is such a good play at 4,800.
Yeah, I know for a fact too. Russ hated Mims, so
Russ
I
is
like
just
the
an
idea.
idiot. Like Russ
I like
needs
the
to
idea
just
of
go
Mims.
and just be gone.
Yeah,
Go
Done with
watch
football.
your lady sing or something for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
What team wants
your
Russ?
ride. You had your ride, Russ. It was fine for years.
I could
He had a good
literally
couple.
I could see Russ taking like the Carson Wentz treatment where like no team wants him.
Yeah.
It's like who wants because he's gone. He's gone from Denver. Like what team wants him? You know, is Atlanta going to be like, oh, you know, we could draft a quarterback. Oh, we
No.
could get Justin Fields. Oh, we could trade for Browning. Like whatever. There's so many things. It's like, oh no, let's sign Russ Wilson where everybody hates him. Like no, there's so few teams out there that actually need a quarterback that like is older, like that actually has a chance to win now. I could see Russ Wilson just being like almost out of the league at this point because I don't think he's going to go and want to be a backup somewhere.
Yeah. He's got too much pride to be a backup.
Yeah.
Too much ego.
Well, the only place
like
would be
it.
maybe Seattle. If the
hate
Bridges, yeah, that's
Yeah.
He's
the thing.
not going back. They hate his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean that's
no way.
everybody hates him. So it's like
I agree. Even when he went to you have been at the casino I worked. Even when he went up there to like play craps to people, the dealers hated him because he's a moron.
yeah, he's just he's awkward.
All right. Well, there you go. There's the whole slate, big slate here. For the main slate.
Since we already talked about 14 of them or 13 of them, a couple of these other games I think are good bets. Like Dallas Saturday night. I know I'm a Dallas blowhard, but my God, is this spot good versus Detroit? That showdown, they are going to score so many points against Detroit. I mean, they are going to put it on them. Whatever their team total is, bet the over because
Are they at
they're
home?
scoring 40.
Are they at home?
Yeah, they're going to – I mean,
Oh.
Saturday night versus Detroit, who they got the same record, right? Is that right?
No.
They're
Dallas
one
is
back?
done. Dallas has nothing to play for. Literally nothing.
Well, they're still going to play though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
They're gonna.
They're gonna rest.
If they win, they have the same record as the Detroit and Philly.
Doesn't matter. Detroit's irrelevant. They're going to be the 5th seed regardless.
So
They
play.
can't catch Philly. I guess they can catch Philly if Philly loses to the Giants, but
And they play on Saturday, so they won't.
yeah, I guess they can, but I mean I don't know. But I mean, Detroit doesn't have a whole lot to play for either. Neither team really has a lot, but I guess they're both going to play. So,
I mean, Detroit technically is going to try to play for the 1 seed, even though it's not. I mean, they have the best record.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think both these teams play this week, but I could see next week Dallas, like, depending on what happens.
I guess maybe they do play. And Dallas has been bad the last couple of weeks, so they have to show something.
I think they just pound them. Like, I think they score 40. Man, we got a 34 total on Thursday night. Oh,
Yeah, we got the friggin' Jets and who was the other team? The
The
Browns. Oh,
I lost my big fantasy league because dude had his only quarterback was Sam Howell, and he decided to drop him and pick up Joe Flacco. And he played fucking Joe
so
Flacco.
sharp.
He picked up Joe Flacco and put a 43 piece on me.
Joe Flacco's been so good. He's just been so good. And Sunday night, I love Minnesota over Green Bay too. I love Minnesota over Green Bay. But I just wanted to throw those in because I like both those bets.
I like Minnesota.
Right,
I don't know if I can get there on Dallas, but I like this. I like Detroit.
I mean, you bring up a good point that they don't have anything to play for. I just think they like to make a statement, though.
Whatever. I mean, there's also Detroit just won their first championship since most of these guys weren't even born. So there might be some partying going on. So, and it's not like Jared Goff's great on the road. So, I mean, it could be the other way. I don't really have a strong take there, but I do like Minnesota with you.
All right, there we go. Fair enough. A bunch of games this week. Big slates for the main slate. You do have tomorrow's Thursday night game, like we said. We'll have a showdown show for that, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Me, Big T, DePrez will be on 3 p.m. on this YouTube channel to talk through that game. And then we do have a Saturday game. We'll have all the showdown stuff up for that. Then the main slate on Sunday. Is there a Monday game, Tony? There's one Monday game?
No Monday.
No Monday game. So
there's no Monday night game? Oh, because it's New Year's Day for football, for college.
Yeah, Sunday night, and we're college the next couple days.
Tony's favorite time of the year.
I've been watching this college game the whole time we've been on the show. My Virginia.
Who do you like in the two college games, Tony?
Today or the big one?
No, the big ones. I don't care about today.
I'm undecided on the Bama game, and then I like Washington to lose. I don't love Washington. Who do you like?
I don't know. I mean, I think I like Michigan. I don't know in the Washington game.
What is that Monday they play both those games?
New Year's Day, I think, right?
So when's the national championship then?
Like a week later or something.
Always that Monday, so it's probably the 8th or yeah.
Yeah, I think I like Michigan. I mean, I think Bama deserved to be there, and we cashed in on that. But hey, Michigan's just better.
I just pulled up Twitter, and Pickles 017 says got our faces on the fucking dancers.
Somebody put it on. Who was who?
You're in front with me, big boy.
Oh, I can't be up front.
You're in front with me, big boy. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hit the like button on your way out.
It isn't even ODB.
Who is it?
Looks like Praz. They got to get ODB in the graphic.
Yeah, ODB is the Chiefs hater.
Yeah, it's your gift, and you got booted.
It's my gift. I got fucking.
We don't even know if Wiley hated the Chiefs this whole time.
Wiley didn't hate the Chiefs. He's not allowed to be in that
Chiefs
gift.
Lover.
Whoever made it, you got to get ODB on the gift.
It is funny though. Look at that Tony's mug in the front.
It's actually a decent gift too, because there are faces. Usually when people do it, like the faces look like shit and stuff. That one actually looks decent.
Yeah, it does look decent. No, it does. Just got to switch the head of one.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have ODB on, and he's the original Chiefs hater.
That's right.
The original Chiefs hater, and I'm the original fucking gift maker. I found that
gift was the funniest that one day when you said it out.
It's my gift.
It's my gift. He owns
no
that
respect
gift
around
now.
this community. No respect around this community.
That's how rich ODB is. He just owns that gift. Like that's his gift.
That's my gift.
Damn it.
I get royalties on it every time you gift it.
All right. Well, ODB, good luck in whatever poker tournaments you got next week. So we won't probably see you next week. So good luck.
Next week I'm back. Baltimore, baby.
Baltimore. There we go.
And Mims are gonna house 2 touchdowns and ship.
Win us the 2K, baby.
Yeah.
Of course, he's gonna house 2 touchdowns. Peace. All right. Good luck, everyone, in your contest for Big T, for ODB, and myself, JSU. We'll catch you guys tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Showdown stuff. We'll have you covered. Run Pure Sports. We're out.